This is a strange declaration. The aliens are all hanging out on Dyson spheres circling white dwarfs. This is what a physicist is claiming. So far, no one has found evidence of intelligent aliens elsewhere in the cosmos, but if they do exist, they might be hanging out on Dyson spheres circling the husks of sun-like stars called white dwarfs scattered throughout our Milky Way galaxy, a new paper argues. And that's there we should be focusing our search for extraterrestrials. Study co-author Ben Zuckerman, an emeritus professor of physics and astronomy at the University of California, Los Angeles, says, based on what that search turns up, astronomers could estimate how many advanced civilizations lurk in the galaxy, he said. Let's remember we sent our own little message out to space concerning that we are here, where we are, what we look like on Voyager with the gold plaque that we sent. So he claims that they are hiding on Dyson spheres. Based on what the search turns up, astronomers could estimate how many civilizations are in our galaxy. Long live the civilization. Any advanced civilization needs energy for food, for transportation, for conflict, for comfort, and for convenience. Currently, Earth's 7.8 billion people use around 580 million joules of energy every year, equivalent to the energy output of almost 14,000 million tons of oil, according to the World Counts. Indeed, almost all human energy comes from fossil fuels, as we lack the technological savvy to rely on the largest generator of energy in the solar system, that is our sun. If humans covered every square inch of Earth's surface with solar panels, that would generate more than 1,017 joules of energy per second, and that would still be losing the majority of energy radiated by the sun, about 1,026 joules per second. This is the motivation behind Dyson spheres, named for the famous physicist Freeman Dyson, who developed the idea in 1960. If an advanced civilization really wants to harness the awesome energetic output of their home star, they have to build megastructures to capture it, blocking out at least some of the star's light and converting that energy into other useful things. Dyson's original proposal of a solid sphere with 100% solar coverage does not work because of stability issues, as it would be impossible to keep the star at the center and the entire sphere would disintegrate due to extreme tidal and rotational stresses. Even so, it's easy to imagine an advanced species building rings or swarms of giant solar panels covered structures to get the job done. Failed startups, but no matter how advanced the species is and how many Dyson sphere-like objects they build, they will have to contend with the fact that every star has a finite lifetime. If a civilization arose around a typical sun-like star, then someday that star will turn into a red giant and leave behind a cool white dwarf. That process will in turn roast its solar system's inner planets, and as the white dwarf cools off, freeze the outer planets. So staying put on the surface of a planet is not a viable long-term option. That means any aliens could either pack up and leave, finding a new system to call home, or build a series of habitats that harvest the radiation from the remaining white dwarf. According to a new paper written by Zuckerman and accepted in May for publication in the journal Monthly Notices of the Royal Astronomical Society, it seems unlikely that an alien civilization would choose to go through the trouble of traveling to a new star just to build a Dyson sphere. Thus, they're only going to build these megastructures around their home stars, which will eventually turn into white dwarfs. This allows scientists to make a direct connection between stellar lifetimes and the prevalence of Dyson spheres. So Zuckerman reasoned, if astronomers look for Dyson spheres around white dwarfs and come up empty, that can help estimate how many advanced civilizations may exist in the galaxy. Here's how the logic works. Astronomers have only measured a small fraction of all the white dwarfs in the galaxy, But if enough aliens decided to build Dyson spheres around their white dwarf homes, then we should see at least one Dyson sphere in our surveys. If we don't see any at all, then that sets an upper limit on the number of alien civilizations building Dyson spheres around white dwarfs. Of course, there could be aliens who decide not to build Dyson spheres, or aliens that build Dyson spheres around other kinds of stars, but Zuckerman argues that over the age of the Milky Way, the most likely outcome of advanced civilizations is to build a Dyson sphere around their white dwarf, so we should focus our searches in that direction. And taking the long view, however, this search won't be easy. If any Dyson spheres do exist, they will likely be hard to find because there are so many stars that must be searched. Zuckerman noted in an email, adding that the signal for the Dyson sphere will likely be very faint compared to the star about which it orbits. Just what is that signal? The presence of a Dyson sphere or ring or swarm around a white dwarf will have two effects. If it's large enough or close enough to the star, it will block the light arriving to Earth, just as transiting exoplanets do. But such Dyson spheres might also add signal from infrared radiation. The megastructures will absorb radiation from the white dwarf and convert that energy into other things. Since no conversation is 100% efficient, this process will leave behind some waste heat that will escape as infrared light. And surprisingly, we've already found many white dwarfs with excess infrared emission, but that is due to dust in those systems and not megastructures, according to the research paper. Existing surveys of white dwarfs have found no evidence of any Dyson spheres, given the total number of white dwarfs that we expect to inhabit the Milky Way. Zuckerman estimates that no more than 3% of habitable planets around sun-like stars give rise to civilization that chooses to build a Dyson sphere around the resulting white dwarf. However, there are so many planets around sun-like stars that this calculation only provides an upper limit of 9 million potential white dwarf sphere-building civilizations in the Milky Way, the researchers conclude. In the end, though, nobody knows how many advanced civilizations may live in the Milky Way, if any at all, Zuckerman said. Some astronomers, including me, he said, think that technological life may be very rare occurrence. He says, indeed, we might even possess the most advanced technology in our Milky Way galaxy, but no one knows, so it's worth searching for evidence. This is by Paul Sutter on Life Science. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.